But what if you're something on a planet like trillions of miles away? You're just like a worm that can talk.
Yeah.
Or something.
Maybe,
I don't know. Just like a worm that moonwalks and
possibly
in the park for money, but then no one likes you, and then you go home and you're just like sad.
But what makes that worm that could talk John? That's the thing that confuses me. Is because John's dead in this scenario.
Yeah, but John loves moonwalking, and just
yeah.
He's like, I knew I liked wiffle ball or something, Yeah, I don't know.
Please clap.
Friggin' John Kennedy, folks.
Hey, how's it
going? Comedian, friend. I wanted to butcher your name and say like something random, like James Cashew or something, and made me laugh just imagining that was your
James Cashew.
Yeah, that should be your stage. John, I did want to ask, whenever I say, I'm used to that name now, but whenever I say it to people forgetting that it was a president's name, they're always like, what? What's his name? And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's...
Yeah, I bet people give you a hard time with that name, right?
Yeah. It's tough. Tell me about that. What?
Well, it's like every time I meet someone, they're always like, "What's your middle name?" That's like the main one. And then a lot of times people are like the guy, like I don't know, like
What is your middle name?
Berggren. My whole first name is John Henry. I have a space in it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, which is that black guy that worked on the railroad tracks.
John Henry.
Yeah, John Henry. And then Berggren. I don't know where that's from.
So your full first name is John Henry.
Yeah. Well, if you ask for my dad, it's part of my middle name, and then you ask for my mom, it's my first name. And I'm like, I got to get through an airport. So like, what is it? I just say it's part of my first name. So
did they take into account when naming you that it's the same name as a president? Did they?
I mean, they're always like, who was your grandpa's name? It's like, yeah, but he was before the president. Like the guy came after him.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, how did you not think that I wouldn't get roasted every single day? And it's every day. Like every day someone brings it up and they say your head's gonna explode in a car. Which is like not a fun way to meet people.
Yeah.
It's always sad. Like, yeah, I get it, the guy fucking died.
No relation though, I'm assuming.
No relation.
Good.
Well, they like looked up like the ancestry, and I think it's like what was Jackie Kennedy has like Native American like ancestry, and we're somehow related to them.
Well, so where are you from? Tell us.
I'm from North Dakota.
Fargo, right?
Fargo, yeah. I mean, I moved around. I was from Minnesota, but I say I'm from North Dakota because that's where I did high school, and that's what matters in life is where you went to high school.
Yeah.
That's all people care about in college, so.
That's what's important, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I moved here to New York from North Dakota.
And when did you start stand-up?
Started stand-up my senior year of high school. I was 17. There was like this open mic called the Red Raven.
Okay.
It was so bad. It was in a coffee shop, and it was just like I went to like a few, and everyone was so bad. But it was like I was like I could do this, and then I went, and I was so bad, and I was like, oh, this is hard. And then I just like got addicted to it. And then I went to college and didn't stay in the dorms in college. I just stayed at home, and I was just like I want to do stand-up. And I wasn't like good for like the first year and a half.
Were you just doing Red Raven every time?
Yeah, that was the only thing we had. But then I got lucky because this place, Front Street Tap Room, they had this really good comedy room, and they would like pack out every single mic, and it was just like sick. And then everyone like actually got better because we're like, oh, this can be fun.
Yeah.
So like everyone in the scene got a lot better because of them.
I see. And how has stand-up in New York been different?
Stand-up in New York, it's been it's just so many people here.
Yeah,
it's just fucking.
I gotta
so
ask
much
these questions, John. They feed them to me.
Oh, someone that writes these down.
No, but I am.
No, I
to
have
talk
written
about...
all these myself. But, they tell me I have to write them myself.
Whenever a question's bad, I'm like, Seth told me to say it. So, how has it been lately, though? I feel like you got up at the Stand recently, which is a big club.
I'm just getting on more shows, just meeting more people. That's what it's all about, is just meeting people.
You're good at the hang and the talking and the.
Yeah, I mean, I like talking to people for the most part.
Yeah, that's why you're here.
Dude, I can't see people like getting drunk and doing a podcast. Whenever I'm drunk, I want to be with my friends only, and then I want to go home immediately after, so I can think about everything that I said wrong and just
right.
just live in that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then I have trouble falling asleep. I'm like, fuck, I'm such an idiot.
Yes.
But there's people online that get hammered and then they're just like, this is what I think. It's like, don't tell people what you think when you're drunk, dude. You're going to be...
And it's like you don't even think, like you're just thinking that now because you're drunk and
Exactly, dude. I hate when people are like, oh, I'm my most honest when I'm drunk. No, you're just drunk.
Yeah.
You're just dumb, you know?
Yeah. Dude.
And you don't have a filter.
This is out of order of what I had, but I wanted to talk. So we had a comedy show that you were like, want to produce a show together? I was like, sure. And we probably burned a huge bridge with the owner of that store, the comedy shop. We could maybe bleep it out. I don't know.
I'm cool with them.
All right, cool.
But it was dog shit. The
you
show
were
was
like,
so bad.
You were like, hey, you want to do a show in a month? I'm like, yeah, probably. And then like you texted me one day. You're like, yo, we gotta like sell tickets for tomorrow, or like you were like, you ready for tomorrow? I was like, what's tomorrow? You're like, this show.
The show that we're supposed to put on, we don't have any comics for, and we haven't promoted.
And then you were like, and also I'm going to be there late, so I just had to go there
and
and
then
host.
I was like, also you're in charge, by the way.
There was 2 people in the audience, just 2 people, and then the comics that were performing, it was like 2, and then the waitress was like, who else is coming? And I was like, I wanted you to do the talking. I was like, and I'm also going to host.
And you're also like, I don't even know who this girl is. Like, do you own the play? Like, you didn't know the owners at all?
And I just went in and I was like, all right, you guys ready? And they were literally like, what? They were like, where's everybody? And I was like, yeah, you thought it would be a show. It is. And
I can totally see you just going, you guys.
And I've never hosted before. That's the other thing.
Hey, it was good practice, though. I knew you needed that.
Yeah, well, because thanks. Well, I did host.
I knew you really needed the training to.
Well, what's crazy is I had to host that for 2 people. The next day, I hosted a show for 100 people.
Dude, the worst. That wasn't. I would say that wasn't the worst show. That was like a fun show, dude. I gotta tell this story. I actually wrote this down. This show that I did, it was the worst show I've ever done. So my friend Dave, this was in North Dakota. He has a dentist, and his dentist runs this wiffle ball tournament every year. It's like just his family, extended family, and friends. And it's in his backyard. He's a very rich dentist, has like a pool. And he was like asking Dave, he was like, hey, do you have any comedy buddies that would come do the award ceremony for this wiffle ball tournament? And Dave was probably had shit in his mouth. He's like, I can do it. You know, like, how do you ask? You know? So he was like, yeah, I'll bring my friend John. So me and Dave drive up. It's like a 2-hour drive. We're going. I'm like, what is this exactly? He's like, it's a wiffle ball tournament. You know wiffle ball? I'm like, yeah, I know wiffle ball. You know? So we go, and it's once we get there, there's like storm clouds like forming. Like it is, we're like, oh, this is gonna start pouring. But we had like 2 hours until it started like downpouring when we got there. So we're sitting there just like, we're like waiting. We're like, when are we going up? We're like, oh, we're just going to do a quick award ceremony. And then you guys will go up. Bunch of people there, right? And it's like 5 people that are going up, and they're setting up like a roast, you know? So like 5 people go up, and he's like, Bradley, everyone's hammered. They're like, Bradley, you're the best friend I've ever had. You know, you're going to do great things. It's like, what is this roast? Like, you're just complimenting these guys.
Is this after the wiffle ball tournament?
Dude, it was like in the middle. They had like an intermission, and the intermission was like an hour and a half, and we were supposed to go up during the intermission and do like 20 minutes each. So this guy is just like, yeah, Bradley. And then they get to like the roast part. He's like, Brad, they're not even roasting. They're like, Bradley, you married your wife and she's ugly. And it's like, what is this? Like, everyone's bummed now?
Yeah.
You're like roasting people?
Well, that's the best part about roasting. If you don't know how to write jokes, it just comes out mean. Like,
yeah, exactly. If you're a dentist, you can, you know? Yeah. So he's like, Bradley, you married that hog of your wife, and she's like with her kid, like, did he just say I'm a hog? And then like, so everyone's like kind of angry, and then after all that, they're like, all right, you guys ready for some stand-up comedy, some real comics? And they were like, I guess, like, what is happening right now? And that's when it starts literally downpouring, like literally. No. And it was outside too. They had like a pool right here. They had a wiffle ball.
It's like a guy's house.
Yeah, it was a guy's house, like his backyard. It was cool. He set it up, but it starts downpouring, and everyone's like, we gotta get under the tree. So there's like this tree like way over there. Some people are like under umbrellas, And I was like, all right, we can just like wait to go on. He's like, no, go on. And I was like, what do you mean go on? It's down. No one's here. Like they're all over there. And he's like, they'll be able to hear you. And I was like, all right. So I like go on. They're literally like 50 feet away from me. And I'm like, okay. And I get on and I'm like just dumb.
Microphone?
Yeah. I was like, am I going to get electrocuted? Like, we're outside, it's downpouring. So I'm like getting wet and I'm not under anything.
Yeah.
And he was like, just do it. Like, it's fun. And I was like, okay.
Who was the one saying this?
This was the dentist guy. He was like, no, just go on and do it. And so I had to open for Dave. He was going after me. So I was just, it was like downpouring. And I was like, oh, yeah, I played rugby in college. Like, just any joke that I could think of. And no one's laughing. They're like, oh, it's so wet. And it's like, what am I doing right now? And then these two guys get up and they pick up a wiffle ball and a bat. And they just start hitting it, like, right in front of me, not listening. So I'm talking. And they're just, like, practicing. And then like a group forms and they're like, the grass was wet. So they're like sliding on the grass. They're like, wee, like having fun. And then a group forms and they all start watching them. And there's nothing like more humiliating than talking to people. And then they turn to watch wiffle ball. Cause wiffle ball is objectively the lamest sport.
Yeah.
And everyone is like watching. And I'm like, should I get off? And they're like, yeah, just get off, you know?
No way.
And I was like, all right. And coming up next is Dave. And everyone's like, wait, there's another guy? And Dave goes up. And Dave was just like, Dave is like, not aware of he's just like mentally like scripted running through the joke. So he's not even looking. He's like, I was on the train and then like everyone's, and everyone's just like still playing. And then the guy was like, yeah. Dave was like, should we come back next year? He's like, yeah. I mean, like, we'll think about it,
No.
So it was just like,
Did he pay you?
yeah, we got like $100 and he like had a bunch of ribs we'd have. But it was just like,
Did people come up to you after, like, nice set, or?
No one wanted to talk to us. And we were just like, let's get out of here. And he was like, I got ribs for you guys. And we're like, all right, let's stick around for the ribs. An hour to finish the ribs. So we're just like sitting there.
Yeah.
Like just buy it like on our phones. No service out there. It's like in the middle of a farm, you know?
I'm curious, what were these awards? If it's the middle of the games.
Oh, it's just like they hang up jerseys like in the Hall of Fame. They like frame them, but it's just family. Like every back of the jersey is like Barnett. So it's like you can't even tell which one. It's like all the backs of the jerseys are like Barnett jersey number 3. It's like who is who?
Yeah,
like it's just
the last name of the person.
Yeah, it's like obviously your brother's gonna make it this year because he didn't make it last year,
right?
And you're not gonna put like your friend in.
Yeah,
you're not gonna hang up your friend's jersey. Yeah, and kids were like jumping in the pool right next to us.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's.
So that was the worst. I would say that's probably the worst game.
That's the sort of shit that I hate the most. Is like family or like I don't know, just people that don't really like comedy anyway.
Yeah, dude, they're just like, what is this? Like, we're just trying to play wiffle ball.
It was a good idea in theory, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But it was just he didn't set it up. He should have known better.
Yeah.
This dentist running a wiffle ball tournament should have known how to set up a comedy show.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Don't produce comedy shows if you don't know, I guess, how to do it. You're a donut boy.
Yeah, donut boy.
You work at a donut shop.
I work at a donut shop, yeah.
You still work there.
Yeah.
How has that been?
It's pretty good. It was like it's my first job here, so I'm like, I don't know how much longer I kind of have there. I was just like, well, I need to make money, but now I'm like I kind of want to go on the road and like I know I could set up a bunch of shows that could do, but like the donut shop is like it just gets like exhausting, dude. When it's just like because it's like people like donuts. I didn't realize how many people go eat donuts.
Really? Because when I went there, I was like, I only had to go once, get one free donut to be like, I never need to eat these again. Like,
well, it's like a tourist thing. So it's always like French people. I'll just say this: I have French cousins, right?
Yeah. Oh, so you're allowed
to
say
this. So I come from
this.
a place of love.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking hate French people.
Okay.
Every single time they come in, they're like, 7 cappuccinos. And then they don't tip, and they're just shitty the whole time. I'm like, what else? And they're like, what do you mean, what else? I'm thinking. And it's like, well, there's a line. You know? I don't know how it works if in France, if there's a line behind you, you can go slow, but like fucking,
Yeah.
So it's just, but again, it's fun.
Do you get a lot of material from it?
I don't want to shit too much on French people. Yeah.
They shit on us. They don't like us. If you go there.
Exactly. They shit on us. Yeah, whenever my French cousins visit, they're always like, the Butterfinger, they sucked you, American candy. And it's like, what do you want from us?
Your boss, I bet.
Yeah, you did meet Steve.
He's like a mob boss.
Dude,
he's like the godfather of donuts.
I thought he was, because the first time I met him, he's like this old Italian Jewish guy. And the first time I met him, I was like, I just needed a job. And my friend Evan was like, yeah, well, there's like this thing in the park in Williamsburg. It's like a festival. Do you know what it is? It's like a smorgasbord. Yeah, it's smorgasbord. So it's like all these food stands set up. And Steve was there. And the first time I met him, Evan was like, Steve, this is, because Evan works around him. And he was like, Steve, this is John. He's looking for a job. And he's like, is that so? And I was like, oh, God. Oh, God.
Is that so?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I just moved here. Just trying to make some money. He was like, I may have some things lined up for you. Like, it sounded like he wanted me to, like, strangle people. And I was like, I'll just, is it donuts? And then he was like, I'll see what I can do. I'll talk to the boss. And then like a month later, he was like, I got something for you. And I was like, oh God, that's not how you pitch a job. And the thing that he had was what like a cashier job. So it wasn't like a job where it's like anything special.
Yeah, like you had to think about it for a month. Yeah.
I got something for you.
Yeah. When I met him, he was like, he was super nice, but.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, I love him.
Because we filmed him for like a TikTok for our page. Which we never made anything from. There's so many things. I just have footage of people like that. They think they're all excited. They're like, yeah, I can't wait to be at like.
Oh, you like meet people and they're like, yes, I'm gonna be on the 137, and you never post it because you're like, that sucks.
Yeah, or I'm just not like I just didn't get around to it. It was like
really?
20 minutes of him describing his donut empire to me. He was like, yeah, like I saw Starbucks. They pioneered the coffee industry. It's like, nobody's doing that with donuts. And then he's like, we got McGregor donuts. We got Amy Schumer donuts. He
called me, but they have Lizzo donuts now.
Do they really?
Yeah, apparently Lizzo's going to be like, I can't stop eating dough.
Dude, he's got all these crazy connects. And I mean, he's doing it well.
Whenever people are there and there's like a line, literally like a whole line out the door, he'll be talking so much to the first people in line and be like, you tried that one yet? And they're like, we don't know who you are. They don't know his role there.
Yeah.
They're like, who is this guy? And I'm always looking at him like, come on, like we gotta hurry. And they're looking at me like, oh, he doesn't even know this guy. Like I'm just like,
Yeah. We talk about how I have all this footage of people. One of them is of you because you called me one day. You're like, yeah, I got a great TikTok idea. I was like, what? You're like, I found a guy's wallet and I want to find him. And like, it was just like it was like not even a real wallet. It was like a rubber thing with like one debit card.
Yeah.
You're like, we need to find
There were two debit cards.
Really?
Yeah, and I called both and the provider was like, no, we can't tell you the guy's info.
Yeah. And which is nice of you because I lost my wallet on the subway and I didn't even know I lost it till I got home and I got a text from Chase like $200 fraud charge, PS4 gift cards. Is this you? I'm like, dude. I'm like,
so someone used it.
Yeah, but luckily they canceled or they. But like, dude, my license was in there, my fucking building ID, my comedians on the loose punch card. So I could get a free open mic.
Damn.
Yeah, my laundry card with $50. And I was like, where's John?
Someone's definitely using that punch card to get on the mic.
I wish somebody like you found it and made a whole TikTok about trying to fucking...
We could still like make that.
We
I
could
also like
still
the
edit
idea
it.
of like a thief with a big bag of money and like a striped shirt and a mask, like showing up to do the mic. I'd like to use this, please.
Yeah, just really using everything that I had. Like, oh, and you know the worst thing that was in it? My Adderall prescription.
Damn.
Yeah.
Focus thief.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Focus thief.
He's gonna be, dude. What did you? That's like a funny thing to buy, like PS4 cards.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Who's a gamer that's
I
stealing?
guess it was a child or like. I don't know.
I want to buy Fortnite skins. You know,
yeah.
like,
well, when you get hacked, or when like you get called from like the scam centers in India, they like ask for gift cards. They like make it look like that. Basically, what happens is they'll call you and they're like, "Oh, we need to get on your." They like hack into your computer, or they just like project a screen and they make it look like they accidentally sent you $10,000. They're like, "You got to pay us back." The best way to do it is just buy gift cards. and because that's
that makes sense.
yeah, and so
Because you can sell those, or like those are because they're like currency.
Yeah, it's like currency that like you can't really trace, I guess. I don't know. It's like Google Play cards, but I watch a ton of YouTube videos about like guys that like there's this one guy, Kit Boga.
yeah. Well, how do you know this?
Yeah. Dude, well there's one guy, Kit Boga. He has like a voice changer, so he sounds like an old woman. And his whole channel is the goal is to keep the callers on the phone as long as possible so that they don't scam somebody else. And he'll have like 13-hour stretches, and they'll be screaming at this who they think is an old woman, like, no, just go to Target. And he'll be like, he has Target sound effects, so he'll be like, okay, I'm in line. Yeah, he says that I need to buy gift cards. He's like, no, don't tell them, just buy the gift cards. It's the greatest thing ever.
Did you ever go through a thief phase where you ever stole, like when you were younger, where you were stealing?
I think
stuff?
We should end this here. I didn't realize that John was.
No, I only have one stealing story, but if
I've done it from like CBS or something, but never from a
guy or a person.
No, you've done it from a guy.
Well, I was like 5.
Oh, still though, that latent ability to steal.
Yeah, no, it like
age.
broke me so bad that I never stole anything again.
Okay, that's
because I was just like, there was this kid. And I was in this play, and this it was like 5 shows, and I brought my Pokemon cards, and he was like, I have Pokemon cards, I'm gonna bring them. And I was like, oh, awesome, like this is a new friend. I don't remember his name, but I was like, sweet. And he had like this Lugia, like a big limited edition.
Okay,
it wasn't like I don't know much about it, but I was just like, that's a cool card. And he went on stage, and I was in the back, and he had like all his cards, and then I crumbled them up and like put them in my pocket.
All of them?
And then he came back, and he's like, where's my cards? And someone was like, oh, they must have stolen them. He's like, oh, why would anyone steal these cards? And I felt really bad. I was like, oh, God, but I can't like give them back because I'm 5. I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, I stole these.
Right.
So I had to just, and then when this lady drove us home, and she was like, yeah, someone stole Isaac's cards, and he was broken. He's gonna shoot himself, just like he's
this 5-year-old's
he started cutting himself, and and I'm like, oh God. So it was like I went outside, and I was like, I gotta dump these cards, So it was like rain. It was like Shawshank. It was like raining on me, and I was like, I was like trying to cleanse myself, and there's just a bush, and I just like buried them. I just like dug a little hole in like these leaves in a bush, and I put them in, and I like patted it. And then once in a while, one would like surface,
like a body.
I'd be like, someone's like, "Why are these Pokemon cards here?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know."
Dude, wait. So, the thing is, when you were 5, that means they're probably like valuable Pokemon cards today. So there's just buried treasure somewhere. Also,
but they're like covered in dirt and just wet.
Yeah, I mean they're not going to be like PSA 10, but.
Maybe that'll make them more valuable.
In North Dakota
the
somewhere? Is it North Dakota or Minnesota?
That's Minnesota. It was at my first house growing up.
What town?
North St. Paul.
No,
address, it's right across from St. Peter's Elementary School. It's the big brown house on the corner. If you're hearing this, it's in the backyard. There used to be a swing set. Maybe that's not there. I don't know the family that got it, but definitely go knock on their door a lot and just say, I'm thinking about, buying the house.
Did you ever tell the kid that you stole his Pokemon?
No, I have no idea who the kid was. I met him one time, and I stole his stuff, and I was like, oh, I can never see this guy again.
Yeah. But you said Isaac. You said the mom's name.
I don't know if his name was
you made
Isaac.
Up a name for the story.
Isaac just sounds like a guy who would cry if, So
yeah.
I've met plenty of Isaacs that have pouted.
So here's a curveball for you.
Okay.
I was on Instagram, and I saw the ad to donate sperm. Pays like $1,500 a month. Would you ever do that?
Would I ever donate my sperm?
Yeah.
I mean, I would want to know, who's using it.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I don't think you could choose.
Like, if it's like I don't think you can choose, but you can be like, you can slip them some money and be like,
oh, really?
Like, make it Croatian model.
Yeah, yeah.
I just want to see. I don't know if I want kids. Like, I kind of want to like adopt kids.
That's why I want to.
But I want to see what they would look like, and I want to do it with like really, really beautiful people, so I could be like, I could make that. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I don't know. I brought it up because I saw it. I've applied many times, and I was denied. So.
Really? Wait,
yeah.
So you want to donate sperm?
I do. I would like to.
You just want to jerk off in a room and make money.
Yeah, that. But also, no. I know. Okay.
You're sick of losing money when you jerk off.
Yeah, that, and also, okay, here's my crackpot theory. Okay, get ready. Right, so possibly, what if reincarnation's real, but it's only through your children? And I was like, that'd be a cool way to, because it's like, what about evolution? Why do we want to procreate so bad? It's like built in us. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, well, this is the way to win at evolution. Is I'm gonna get paid for people to go have, I don't even have to take care of them.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you want to be reincarnated, but what if you're like something boring, you know? Like, what if you get reincarnated as just like
what you're saying, my child is boring.
No, you're saying. Wait, are you saying?
I'm
you
saying
get
that.
reincarnated?
I'm saying, what if you only the only way to reincarnate is to have kids? What if it's like carried through?
So you would become your kid? Isn't that what reincarnation is? Is when you become something new and in a different life?
Yeah. No. Yeah. But why does it have to be? This is what I think is the interesting thing about reincarnation. We're getting real deep here.
Okay.
It's like, why does
Are you very like just spiritual? Like
no, I have no idea what. I just
okay.
But I like to think about it. So
yeah, I like to have a view on every religion, and I think they're all sort of true.
Yes.
So then, if anyone's right, then I could be like, well, I thought a little.
Yeah,
you know?
I said.
So I'm good.
No, like, why does it have to? Like, I don't think you need to be dead to reincarnate. I think you could simultaneously be two things. Does that make sense? Maybe not.
Like, yeah, I guess that's like deep, and I'm dumb, but like I kind of get what you're saying, where it's like you would be two people living two different.
Some people
conscious,
think like,
but there's like one core thing that binds the two.
Yeah, well, some people think that like we all share one soul, so I'm you, you're me. Mm-hmm. But even like the cows and the fucking pigs and all that shit, we're that too.
Yeah,
all of life is one soul.
I could see. Yeah.
I wrote this down. Yeah. I wrote this down last night, and I was like, "This is gonna be great."
I always thought reincarnation was you die, and then in a new life you become something new. And I always thought like, yeah, let's say you become something new, but what if you're something on a planet like trillions of miles away? You're just like a worm that can talk,
yeah,
or something.
Maybe,
you know, I don't know, just like a worm that moonwalks and
possibly
in the park for money, but then no one likes you, and then you go home and you're just like sad.
But what makes that worm that could talk John? That's the thing that confuses me. Is because John's dead in this scenario.
Yeah, but John loves moonwalking, and just
yeah.
He's like, I knew I like wiffle ball or something, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Cool. Listen, what?
I don't know much about what happens after I die.
Yeah, you don't. That's surprising.
You know what I think happens after you die? I think you just like experience orgasm
forever.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool.
For like 5 minutes,
and then you're trapped in this.
And then you're like, all right, this is too fun all the time.
yeah.
I need someone to like.
I need a challenge.
I need someone to slap me around a little bit.
Yeah,
you know. That's why people do like BDSM, because they're like just so used to.
So you think basically when you die you want to be orgasmic, but you also want it to be a BDSM orgasm.
Have you seen that? Have you ever seen the Twilight Zone?
Yes.
This guy, have you seen that episode where this guy dies and he's like a bank robber, and then he goes to heaven and he's like winning slots and he's making all this money. He's like, this is awesome. All the hot women are like talking to him. He's like, yeah. Everything's going right. And he's like, I can't do this every day. I gotta get like, I want to rob a bank. He's talking to the angel. He's like, I want to rob a bank, and I want there to be a 50% chance I get caught, and then I want to go to jail, and I want to like he's like, I'm too happy all the time. And he's like, all right. And then he does it, but like, he's like, I didn't get caught. Why is heaven like this? He's like, who said this was heaven?
Ah, that's cool. Twilight Zone, dude.
Yeah, dude, they were way ahead of their time.
Yeah. Fuck, that's great.
I remember watching that when I was like 8. I was like, wow.
Wow. Dude.
Wait, real quick before we get off the dirty talk, can I say one story I've never said on a podcast before, but I think it's...
So, but wait. So all the other stories you told me have been said on other podcasts?
Well, no. I mean, like, I've just something... This has never been... my parents don't even know about this. Like, this is just a story that, like, I've kept, like, in the back of my head, and I was like, was this real? Like, was this not real? I was young, you know? And then, like, someone reached out to me. They're like, "Hey, remember me?" And I was like, "Oh, I do remember you."
I would love to hear this
Okay,
story.
so I was. This might not even go in, but this was like, no, I don't even know if I want to tell.
Tell it.
Okay, fine. This was like, so my dad taught at like this private school when I was little, and I went to the elementary school, so we had to wear like uniforms. This was like first grade, right? So I was like really, really young. It may have been kindergarten. I was just super, super young, wearing like it was like a yellow polo, navy blue khakis, and the girls had to wear it was like a plaid dress with like leggings or whatever. And I just remember, oh God, this is so wild. I just remember sitting in class, and this girl, she was sitting right next to me, and she had like her dress like pulled up.
Yeah.
And the teacher was old, and she didn't really know what was going on. And she had like her leggings down, and she was just like looking at her crotch. She was just like touching it, like her vagina. It was just out.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, I was like, what's that? Like, I didn't know. I was in first grade, you know? And she's like, it's cool. And then she's like, do you want to touch it?
No
and
way.
I went, yeah. So I just like started like poking it. And then she was like, do you have one? And I went, I don't know. And I like,
no way.
I swear to God, dude, this was like something I kept in like the back of my head. And I was like, that never happened. And then and I had like my penis, you know? And then I was like, do you want to touch?
You asked her.
Yeah, I was like, do you want to touch mine? And she was like, yeah. So we're like just like poking each other like in that. And then I remember this girl who now I looked her up. She like breeds horses now. So maybe that had something to do. She was like, what are you guys doing? And I was like, you want to do it? And then, so this girl, we were all like just poking each other and like, you know, just like patting it. And then we just did it like every day. We'd sit in like the back of the classroom and we just like,
This was a consistent.
This was every day for like a month, you know? And we would sit in the back of the classroom and we would just like, I was the only guy too. So like there were like 3 girls all the time and we would just like grab butts and like touch. And we're just like, yeah, this is cool. And I remember this girl, Alexa, she thought it was so funny to just like moon us all the time. We're like, ha.
Wow.
So that was where,
So wait, so this girl called you recently to be like, do you remember?
No, this girl messaged me. I'm not going to say a name.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I feel like it's fine. We were all kids, you know, but
Yeah,
it was,
yeah.
and we didn't know, but at the same time, it's like, wow, you know? So she messaged me. She was like, hey, what's going on? And remember me? And I was like, I never responded because I was like, oh, fuck, I do.
Oh, but
remember.
she didn't confirm the story. Like, she wasn't like, hey, remember when we used to poke each other?
Yeah, remember when I would poke? Remember
yeah.
when I would grab your penis and pull it? You know,
Yeah.
like no one's gonna say that over Messenger. That's wild. Well, maybe I've seen guys say that over Messenger, but I don't know them. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great story. Yeah.
So that's something that I don't know if I ever want to say that again, but it
Okay.
was like it's like a maybe I'll make that a bit or something.
Maybe, yeah. It's been immortalized here. So
Yeah, fuck.
yeah, no, that's cool. You can.
Is that a good story?
I
though?
think that's a great.
Okay,
you hear
okay,
them giggling up a storm out there.
I was like, well, it was just like, you know, yeah, I don't know what that is, and then you just poke it a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
What's your next question you have?
You recently did a show with Joel McHale from Community.
Yeah.
How was that? You're like buddies with him.
Yeah. So I in Fargo, this was like right before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I won the Fargo Comedy Festival. Big. I won the Fargo Comedy Festival. I had like 15 people, and then the prize was you get to open at the theater for big acts. So like Moshe Kasher, Natasha Leggero. Well, she wasn't there because she has a kid with Moshe, and she was like, yeah, there's this thing COVID. I want to stay back with the kid. And we're like, what? Just come. Who cares? You know?
Yeah.
And then Joel McHale. And yeah, I got to meet him there. And then
Is it Joe?
Joel. Did I say Joe?
I don't know what you said, but I just was like, oh, I've been saying it wrong.
Yeah, it's Joe Michael. It's not Joel McHale. You're like, I'm like, Community. I don't know what that show is, but
why don't you FaceTime him real quick for the pod?
I don't know if he'd pick up.
I know. Well, I figured.
I don't know. You know, it's like one of those things. It's, you know, like I've never been friends with a celebrity, so I don't like. I feel like I don't want to burn bridge. Like I'm, you know what I mean? But
no, definitely don't FaceTime him in the middle of a podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, why are you calling me right now? He's like, my wife's in the hospital. I'm like, oh, I'm on a podcast, right? Okay, I'll see you later, man. I'm like, we're really cool though.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I got to meet him there, and then I met him once in L.A. when I was there, and then I opened for him at this casino. That was probably
That was recent?
that was 2 weeks. I did hold out 2 weeks ago, and that may have been another time I bombed because everyone there was like you can't really bomb in front of like a theater because there's gonna be at least some laughs, but like everyone was 80 plus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so and it's a casino, so everyone's
Is that
like,
his fan base or?
it's just who's at the casino.
Okay. And willing to leave to watch comedy.
Yeah, no one. I don't think Joe McHale has like roadies for stand up, you know,
Right?
But he was like doing the show, and it was like people at the casino. Like some people traveled from like different cities to see him, but it was like all 80 plus, and I was like, yeah. Sometimes I take off my pants, and the doctor said, you know, or and everyone's like, I don't know, you know, like what's funny about that? And then but it's like. It's interesting, like seeing him go up, and then some people were just like heckling him, like soup, because he was on the soup.
What's the soup?
I don't know. I didn't watch it, but it was like something he was on.
Oh,
it was like
okay.
a talk show or something.
Okay.
And then people. I didn't realize like guys like that get heckled too.
I think everybody gets.
Yeah, I know
heckled.
like everyone gets heckled, but like in a theater, you know. I don't
Yeah.
go to many theater shows.
Dude.
That story didn't really have legs, did it?
No, we'll cut around it.
I was like, how can I try and say anything about this? But,
We're gonna make it because you said his wife's in the hospital. We're gonna make it seem like that was actually. We'll edit it. We'll edit it to make it look.
Yeah,
good.
just edit it to make me look horrible.
Yeah. Yep. we'll bring back in that story about
his
the
wife was
kids
in the
touching
hospital,
groins.
and then you cut, and I was patting her vagina.
Yeah. Dude, did I tell you about the time that I Ubered a girl over from Tinder and lost her at the door?
You lost a.
Okay, so
Wait.
first of all, I Ubered her over. She was like, and I guess that's
You like called an Uber for her.
yes.
Okay.
Which is never fun because she was like, oh, just call to the Five Guys on Canal Street, and I was like, oh, okay. Are you eating there? And she was like, no, I just didn't. I guess she didn't want to tell me her address, which is cool.
I
was
just
like,
base everything off of Five Guys locations.
yeah, but that was like, well, there's a Subway right there. How about I Venmo you $2.75?
What's the closest Five Guys you're next to?
yeah. And she came over, and like I saw on the Uber app that she had arrived, and I was like, oh, maybe she was there for a while. I'm like, maybe she couldn't figure out the buzzer, so I pressed the key on my pad, not realizing it'll show me the lobby. It shows you a camera view of the lobby, and she was in there on the phone with a guy, seemingly crying, and she's like, no, I'll leave right now, like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, no way. And I'm sitting there, and then she's like, yeah, he does like YouTube, like he's like weird, but like I'm just like lashing out at you,
and you're like hiding behind like a bookcase, like
just like watching on the keypad, like
you're like watching
on the keypad,
like the ring cam.
Yeah, and I'm like, I texted her, I was like, hey, if you don't want to come up, it's totally cool. And like I'm watching her like look at her phone, still like on speaker, but texting me. I'm like, I wonder what she's typing. And the message was like, no, haha, be up soon. And I'm like, I don't know if that's.
Oh my god! Dude.
I don't know if that's true. And then I stopped watching because I felt weird. Like she doesn't know I'm listening, so I like turned it off. And then it was a
and
little
because she's just ridiculing you. No, he's just this goofball.
Yeah,
his videos aren't even good. He's just
yeah. And then literally that. Then I pressed it again later because I'm like, she's still here, and I could see her now. Like you could see the lobby, and then there's two glass doors, and then there's outside the apartment, and she's sitting crisscross applesauce, laughing on the phone, like, "No, you're silly." You know, I'm like, just leave, just go. And then I was like, you know what? I'll do this. So I went downstairs. I went out. I was like, oh, are you okay? And she was like, I gotta go. And I was like, you don't have to. She said that to the guy, and then hung up. And then she's like, all right, let's go up. And then she did come upstairs. And then I told her about what I experienced, and she's like, no, that was my friend. Like it wasn't a guy. It was like my girlfriend. Like.
You told her you saw her on the ring.
Oh, I told her right away. I'm like, yeah. I think that. Well, I actually, the part I left out is I texted her like, hey, just so you know, anybody could buzz in and see you down there. So that's probably why she went outside. I also don't know if it was a guy. Like it was kind of hard to hear her, but it's a funnier story.
But she was like actually crying.
I don't know if she was crying or drunk and like laughing, and it was like a very unclear. But she seems.
You just saw an emotion that was like, do I engage?
Yeah.
On this?
And then I was like, well, she's a lost cause, so I got a different girl off Tinder, Ubered her over. They
Wait,
met
the same night? Did she go? Wait, did
No,
they?
now
I
I'm just lying to you.
I was like, what?
I've tried turning this into a bit, and I'm like, I can't figure out a good ending for the. I tried merging a different story. I had a different girl come over, and she was like, "Oh, I was nervous because I was worried to be a murderer." And I was like, "Oh no!" And she's like, "It wouldn't be the first time." And I was like, "Oh, what? Like
You've been murdered?"
Yeah, exactly. And she was like, "No, I dated a hitman." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, like." I was like, when did you guys break up? She was like a month ago. I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, yeah, he's like in Canada now because he's on the run. And I'm like, that's not. And I was like, does he still like you? She was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, so he's paid to kill people, still likes you, you're here. And she was like, yep. And I actually, at one point, I was like nervous, and I was like,
yeah,
this
he
girl's
had to kill my dad. He was on the hit list, and I was like, please don't. And she was like, all right, well, I gotta move then.
Yeah. And then I did this weird, like I was like a little nervous, and I was like, she kind of, and I wanted to record like a voice memo, and so I went to do that. I don't know if I was just like, I just want some sort of like backup here, like just to be able to, and I like press the record button, and you know when the phone's not on silent, it goes ba-doop, and she goes, "Are you recording?" And I was like, yeah. I thought of a bit just now, and I'm going to tell you it, and I just want to record it in case it's good. And she was like,
oh my God. That is the worst pitch.
but it's the only thing I can think of. And so now I just have a recording of me like on my phone, like,
First off, if you're gonna tell someone a bit, you don't say I'm telling you a bit. You just go into it and they go, that's stupid. Then you go, well, it's true and it's not a bit.
Well, what am I supposed to say? I'm recording you because you're insane and I want to like have proof that like this happened. So, but anyway, she ended up being cool. And,
that's good.
Yeah, and I haven't heard from her since. But I don't use Tinder anymore. Or Hinge, because I've just had too many experiences like that where I'm like,
yeah, I feel like because me and my girlfriend broke up like 2 months ago, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll download it. And I feel like every time I download it, I delete it like 2 days after. I'm like, what am I doing?
Same.
You know? Yeah.
Well, because I end up using it like just to like, or I'll be like, maybe I'll just look for a girlfriend this time, and I inevitably swipe like, I'd have sex with her.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, she's beautiful. But then I'm like, I never meet up with anyone from there. I'm always just like, oh, okay, that was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
I got to be a person now.
You got to use it strategically, which is hard to do.
Yeah. I actually wanted to give some advice.
To me?
No, this is kind of off. I just kind of wanted to talk about anyone doing long distance.
Okay.
This is just my advice for anyone that has a long distance relationship. I don't know. Wait. Maybe she'll see that. I don't know. Anyway, because my girlfriend and I dated for 8 months or for 2 years, but 8 months was long distance. And have you ever done long distance before?
No.
See, so this is what it's like.
I had a RuneScape girlfriend once.
So if you're doing
Go, please.
I got a blowjob on Club Penguin.
It didn't work out, so I needed.
Brought her back to my igloo.
yeah. Dude,
we were in the tub together, and she went gurgle, 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 because you wouldn't get banned for saying.
Yeah. Where can we find you on social media? Give your plugs.
All right, on Instagram, John Henry Kennedy. On TikTok, John is Toasted.
Great name.
On Twitter, Frazzle My Gimp. On what other social media apps are there? I feel like those are the main ones, you know.
You've been killing it on TikTok.
TikTok's been going pretty well, yeah. It's like John is Toasted. I'm also John is Toasted on Twitter. I have 2 Twitter accounts, so I made one because I want
one Twitter handle per episode.
No, dude, didn't you talk to Gary?
Yeah,
I'm only doing 2 Twitter handle podcasts now.
I see. Cool. Well,
I sent him an email.
Oh, you did?
He didn't respond. I just said
you can email. Anybody can email. He puts them in all his videos. He's like, it's the same email that I use to email him. So
when people put out like their phone number, like I'll see celebrities like text me here. That's just like
a robot. It's like, hey, pretend.
It's just give me your number so I can send you updates on stuff.
Yeah.
You're not really like, what you doing?
yeah, for sure.
Do you want to go to the park?
Well, I think that's it. I think that's
All right.
we'll cue the outro music and the
Yeah.
fireworks and.
Dude, I had fun.
Thanks, John.
Thanks for having me on,
Hell
guys. It was fun. Yeah, you know, I had a good time. I had fun.
Cool.
I had a great time.
I had a good time.
That's just like the rest of it. I had a great. The credits rolling. Dude, I had so much fun. What are you doing after this? I'm gonna have less fun because I had so much fun.